All right. Welcome. I think we're live. Welcome to the Virtual Tech Lab. My name is Dan Willoughby, and I am a developer advocate for Storj. I'm excited to be here, excited to try this out. This is the first run of things, so bear with any things that may go wrong, but not planning on it. And as while people are joining in, type in the chat where you're joining in from. I'd love to know more about you. And I personally am joining y'all from Utah in the United States. So let's go ahead and dive into this lab. We will be learning together, and hopefully we can, at the end of this, have a sample video app ready for you to use. So I want to jump into the agenda here. I wanted to cover, since this is the first tech lab, is what is Storj and how it works. And then I'll show you our Web 2 bridge, things about AWS S3 compatibility. And then I will transition to our Web 3 native storage, which is an uplink tool that we've developed. And then we will create a sample video app. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in the chat at any time. I will do my best to monitor those and to answer those. All right. So, Storj is a decentralized object storage platform. If you've used AWS or Google Storage or Azure, Wasabi, Backblaze, we offer similar functionalities, but in a decentralized way. So what that means is we have 15,000 nodes across the globe that we can store our files on and provide multi-region by default. So we're not limited to just one data center. Our performance, availability, durability are on par with the centralized providers. And the distinguishing factor in what makes me most excited about Storj is that we are privacy focused. We're very much part of the Web3 push to let users own their data. We offer end-to-end encryption by default. It's built into the product, and we try very hard to make sure that that is at your fingertips. The other thing that you'll notice is that Storj is up to 80% cheaper than Amazon S3, which provides a great way to make the shift. So how does it work? Like I said, anyone can join our network. Storage node operators are those who have unutilized disk space, either something in their closet. They can connect it to a Raspberry Pi, join our network, and we're able to utilize that space. And then at the application layer, the developers, maybe watching this stream, can use our Web 2 bridge, the AWS CLI, or the uplink, the Web 3 native storage, to store those files, play videos on their website. And then we have this satellite layer that provides a user-friendly interface to the objects that you store and also handles some of the logistics of the storage network. So when you put your file on Storj, what will happen is first it's encrypted, and then it is split into about 80 pieces and distributed throughout the entire globe. And the cool thing about Storj is that we only need 1/3 of those pieces back, or 29. So that means an entire country or all of Europe could go down and you can still retrieve your file. How it does that is it identifies those nodes. It gets at least 29 pieces back, reconstitutes that file, and decrypts it. And it is available for you to view. So one of my favorite things to show is a 4K 60 frames per second video. We can stream from this network, and you can notice on the left a map of all the locations that this particular video is stored. So let's go ahead and do that. Off here on the right, you'll notice that this is stored on 796 storage nodes, and the map there of it showing it across the world. So let's go ahead and hit play. So I can view this 4K video, 60 frames per second, all of those storage nodes being contacted, the video being reconstructed and able to be viewed in the browser. And the other cool thing is we can hop around in this video and it will show, it'll jump to that point, rebuild that file, and make it easy to view. So now that we've covered what storage is, let's jump into how you can use our Web 2 bridge or the AWS CLI. So it's very much what most people with object storage would be familiar with. I am going to install the AWS CLI. A quick Google search is how I found this page, and I'll copy this command. I've already actually downloaded this, so I will run that command and then install it. Once that is done, I can type AWS version. You can see that that is ready to go. The next step I will need to do is log into Storj. And if you don't have an account already, you can do that. And once you're in to the web console, off to the left, we'll want to click on Access. And I'm going to choose this middle option, Create S3 Credentials. A few options here that basically we just give it a name. So I'm going to call it the Virtual Tech Lab Demo. You can limit permissions here. I'm going to go ahead and give it all. I want to limit this bucket specifically to my demo bucket. And then you'll need to create a passphrase. This is how your data is end-to-end encrypted, so we can't read your data, and only you can. You own it. A more secure option is generally to generate a passphrase, but for demoing purposes, I'm going to type a relatively insecure password and go from there. It's important to know if this password is lost, we cannot recover that data, so keep it safe. And then I've created my access. I accidentally hit that twice there, so that's what that error is. No worries there. All right, once I've done that, I can now type AWS configure, and the access key is what it wants here first. And secondly, the secret key. And the region name and the output format can leave as none. And now I'm set up. I can now use the AWS CLI. So you'll notice that I copied that endpoint. For the Web 2 bridge to work, we'll need to always specify that endpoint here. And I can do an ls. And there you can see it's limited to just that bucket that I did when I set up my credentials. So next I will want to copy a file into that bucket. And so let's go ahead and do my storage tree and copy it to demo bucket. And using the AWS CLI through our S3 compatibility layer, we can upload that file. And then I will go and just to show you that all things are working in my demo bucket, I have now a storage tree, which the storage tree is one of my favorite because we use unutilized disk space across the world. We are one of the few green options for disk space. Sustainable way to build out the fundamental need of internet infrastructure, data storage. So there's a variety of other options you can use with the AWS, but for the purposes of giving a good walkthrough of what Storj has to offer, we will transition into our Web3 native storage layer. But I will pause here for a minute. Phil, what questions do you have? Type those in the chat. And looks like we're good there. So Next up is the Web3 native storage, the uplink. So I'm going to use the quick start here off to the left and upload using the CLI, the last option there. Let's give this one a name. Let's call it the VTL, Virtual Tech Lab Demo, and call it 3.0. Gonna hit continue. Oh, I've already used that one, so 3.0.0. And for this one, let's just give it all the permissions and all the buckets. And I'm actually gonna hit continue one more time here to get the instructions to install uplink. So first I'll need to download that client. And while that's downloading, we will go copy the next command and unzip it. And finally, install. Can I type my password? I can. Great. So now that uplink is installed, you can see a variety of options. To set it up, we will need to call the setup command. So uplink setup. And first option, give it a name. These credentials, I'm going to leave it with main. That sounds pretty good. Next, I will need that access API key, which is there. Satellite address is the next one. A passphrase, like the web console, to make sure your data is end-to-end encrypted. It's important to remember this phrase. And for your convenience, we always ask if you want that S3 compatibility layer generated. Since I already went through that, I'm not going to do that now. But now we should be set up on uplink. So just like aws-cli, our uplink CLI is very similar in a lot of ways. I just ran uplink ls, and now I can see a list of all my buckets. This time you can see them all because I gave it access to all of those. And let's go ahead and upload a file. Just let's do the storage tree once again. And the difference now is instead of S3, we type SJ. And that means we're Web3 native right here. So, and we do demo bucket. And let's just call this the storage tree web3.png. When I hit enter, this is going to split this file into all of those pieces and store it in our network directly from my computer. And the difference between our gateway is that happens on server side. So let's watch this upload. All right, perfect. And now I will back out of this quick start. And let's just, for good measure, view that file. And there it is, the storage tree. Great. So I'm going to glance over once again. Any questions you may have, feel free to type them in the chat. The next part we'll want to cover is how to build something. Now that we have object storage, it's time to build our sample video app. So I'm going to clear that. And what I want to do next is first, I want to create a React app. So what I like to use is Facebook's create React app repo, and it is an easy way to bootstrap React apps the way that Facebook would set it up if they were developing an app today. And the way I can use that is by using npx create React app, and I will call this storage video. And as that's downloading, the idea of what we want to do here is to build just a simple website where you can view a video similar to the bunny video that we had earlier. And the way that we'll do that is we will use the Web3 native tools to share that video and allow it to be available on our website. So now that this is done, I will go into this video project. I'm going to launch Tmux here, which is going to allow me to split my terminal a little bit and go ahead and run npm start. And it looks like it opened on my other tab, so let's bring it over here. Great, I have a React app and I am ready to go here. Next thing I will need for my video hosting app is some video. So let's go ahead and start up QuickTime. I'm going to record my screen. That looks pretty good. All right, so I'll hit record and I'm going to have the cow say, "Welcome to the Virtual Tech Lab." Awesome. And that is my video. So let's go ahead and save that to the downloads, call it the Virtual Tech Lab demo video. And I will want to upload this to my demo bucket. So let's get the path there. Since I am streaming at the same time, I was worried that wouldn't work too well. But all right, so now we have this video in our bucket. The next thing we will want to do is share this. So as you can see, there is a share command, and I am going to get the help menu for that one. There is quite a bit of options here. There's a little too many to cover today. What I want to highlight is this -- URL, which will ensure that this file is available to the public. And important thing to note is it does not share all the files in the bucket unless that you give it a bucket path. It just shares access to that single file, which is what I want to do. So I will do uplink share -- URL, and then the path of the file I would like. And now I have this URL that I can view this file. And we are good there. And you can now view this video. The cow say video. Great. So let's get this video in our video app. Yeah, I said video like 3 times. So we have our React app running here. So we will do app.js. And I am going to remove most of this code, and we will do a video. Let's give it some controls so we can hit play and stop, and a source of this URL, and save that. So you'll notice that it is not playing just yet. That is one of the hiccups that new users usually run into. If you are hosting your file in other places, you will want to make sure you change this S from S to raw, which will then allow that video to be accessed. So here we go. I now have a website that has my video that I created. Fantastic. And alrighty, so that was all I had planned. We will shift into questions now. Oh, looks like we have one here. Hi, I've opened the account for testing, uploaded one file in Bucket, but after uploading file is not visible, and how to download the same things. All right, so thanks for the question. That is very good. We're going to assume that you were able to create a bucket, but we'll just walk through the whole process so that it makes sure we didn't miss any steps. So I'm going to create a new bucket. Let's call this my files bucket. And what may have happened is, my guess is that you may have typed the passphrase a little bit incorrectly. And so that's the first thing I would check. In this case, let's go ahead and I'm going to set this bucket up with a passphrase. And it's just warning me that that was not a good password. All right, so after I upload, I will need to, oh, that looks like great. Upload it there. And that file is now available. And so then if I come back to my files bucket, it will prompt me for that passphrase, and I need to make sure I type the right one. Otherwise, it can't decrypt the data and show you your files. So what my guess is that you may need to recreate the bucket and make sure that that passphrase is the one that you set originally. So next, if let's say you wanted this file to be available to the public, oh, there's the download option that you were likely looking for. But let's say you want to share this file with your friend. I can now use this drop down, go to the share option, and I get a link here, and that is able to be typed in the browser. And you can view the download option there. Yeah, hopefully that answers the question. All right, so just have a few more minutes here. What we'll do is just call this the Virtual Tech Lab. Make it a little nicer there. Let's go back to the slides here for a second. So just to recap on some of the things we talked about how you can use the Web2 bridge, which is S3 compatible, very familiar tooling for existing products that many developers have used. It supports server-side encryption. You get the global distributed data out of the box there, highly available. And then we covered our Web3 native, the uplink CLI. You can build that directly into your apps, which I showed with the video app. We also have many different bindings for your favorite languages, and I'll show that here in a second. The client side is end-to-end encrypted. You own your data. Not even Storj can view that. And we feel that that is an important ethos of Storj that central providers don't often prioritize, but is very much front of mind for us. The encryption and erasure coding, that splitting into many pieces, is how we make sure that data is durable. And if any of our node operators go offline, we are able to repair that file and redistribute it throughout the network. And since we are not centralized in a single country, you can have peace of mind that your data is safe, it's available, and it is multi-region. All right, and we dived into those demos already. What I wanted to do was to give some resources. If I go to docs.storj.io, A lot of the material I just went over is available here in written format. So the uplink CLI Web3 native is there, AWS CLI. You can view that as well. And of course, this video on YouTube. The other thing is you can go to our forum and ask any questions that you may have, and our team is very responsive there and will get you taken care of. And so let's go ahead and wrap this up. I'm going to say thank you. Thank you for attending the Virtual Tech Lab. This is every Tuesday at the end of the month at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. And yep, we're just leaving it as an open forum. You can come, ask questions, and we'll do our best to provide answers. And thank you for tuning in. We will see you next time.